I'm here with supermodel and author Liris Crosse.
Yes.
You may recognize her from Project Runway. Before we get into that little blip on your radar, if that's what you would like to call it, a blip, I think it's bigger than that, but that's the word that came to mind. So when did you first start thinking of seriously pursuing a career in the entertainment industry? I know you did have some acting roles back earlier in your career.
Right.
Had you always wanted to go towards that path and then fell into modeling, or was it kind of?
Oh, look, for me, I started at a really early age as far as knowing what I wanted to do. People would say, what do you want to do? And I would write down my 5 things. So it would be, I want to be a model, I want to be an actress, I want to be a hairstylist, a clothing designer, and a lawyer. Those were my things that I wanted to do.
All very good goals.
All very good goals. And in some way, I feel like I still do a little bit of all of them. Not necessarily the lawyer part, but I do fight for justice within my industry. So it's like still
it's the
bringing,
same thing.
yes, exactly. And sometimes I do have to do my hair on set. I am helping designers design their clothes better for the plus size woman. And, I am modeling. I am acting when the right things come my way. I have an awesome acting manager who I connected with last year out of LA. Shout out to Andrew Stawarski. So he's been actually getting me some really great roles to read for recently. We're just waiting for the right thing to hit. And,
Do you have a certain type of project that you're looking for? It has to be an uplifting type project, or you want to go?
No,
back?
actually, I would love to do something that people wouldn't expect. Like, ooh, did you see Liris in that? I didn't expect that from her. I would like to get something like that, and then I would love to marry something with the image I already have of being motivational, aspirational, inspirational. So I would love to do something of that sort as well. But I think it would be great to like mess people's heads up and do something like totally out of the box and different from who you expect Liris to be. So going back to then, I was in elementary school writing out my goals as far as what I wanted to do. I did like school plays, Little Shop of Horrors.
I was in the same thing.
Yes! And, went to like small acting lessons, church plays, because my parents were pastors back home in Baltimore. And then I moved to New York. I moved to New York primarily to pursue modeling, because modeling is my first love.
And how old were you when you moved?
I was just turned 18 years old.
Wow, just right off the bat.
Yeah,
it's
right
like
off the bat.
blew out the candles and hit the road.
Yeah, pretty much. So I really came to New York to pursue modeling. And the great thing about modeling is modeling opens up so many doors for so many other things, and acting is one of them. So I would say I had a untraditional approach to acting. I, being a little girl back in Baltimore, used to always see music videos because MTV, BET, VH1 was, they were like high key. You're rushing home to watch music videos.
Yeah.
So I was like, I want to be one of the girls in the music videos. And I'm actually thankful that I moved to New York and I was able to kind of start to get my feet wet in the modeling and acting world by being in music videos because it taught me set terminology, set etiquette, how to be comfortable in front of the camera. It, getting my cues, how to turn it on, how to turn it off. Even some music videos had some dialogue or they had a certain emotion they wanted you to give. So I was able to hone my craft a bit on a different scale. And I'm thankful for that. So that started to open up doors for me. And I actually did a music video and I just networking, which I will say, I talk about this in my book too, Make the World Your Runway. Shameless plug, available on Amazon.com. And what was I gonna say? I was doing the music video. I gave the designer my comp card. They put me in this designer at the music video. So I have on her outfit. Hey, I'm like, if you hear about any other music videos, give me a call. You know, reach out to me. She's like, all right, cool. A couple weeks later, she reaches out and says, hey, she's like, I don't know if you're interested in this role, but they are looking for women to play exotic dancers in this movie called The Best Man. It's being directed by Spike Lee's cousin, Malcolm Lee, is his debut as a director. So I was like, hell yeah, I want to do it.
Tay Diggs was in that, right?
Exactly.
We'll just said hell yeah real quick too.
Yeah. So I was like, okay. So I went and I read for Regina Hall's role, and I read for like pretty much all of the dancer roles. And because of my height, because I'm 5'10", they wanted me to. They felt I was too tall for the other actor, and and they probably just maybe liked Regina's audition better because I'm sure she was more into it than I was at that point. But I still got lines, and that was my first audition for a film.
That's
and
awesome.
I nailed it. And
that must have really sparked your
definitely.
Not only your interest, but your just your confidence in yourself.
Definitely.
I feel like you've always been a confident person, though.
I would say I've been pretty confident most of my life. I think everybody goes through their low points, but I definitely. I'm thankful for parents who built me up, continue to build me up.
That's awesome.
Spiritually, mentally, emotionally, I really thank God for them. And yeah, I booked the role and automatically became SAG, union. So that's a big
dream.
thing.
That's a big thing,
exactly.
especially for your first gig. Yeah.
So yeah, I even talk about that in the book. There's a story about being on the set of The Best Man and how one of the dancers who was booked for the film, she ended up showing up hours, like maybe 2 hours late. And the director sent her home, was like, no, we're good, thank you. Because, you can't be late for film sets. Yeah.
No, they don't know.
They do not play that. So I talk about in my book, some of my keys to success about being punctual, how I didn't know that I automatically became union by doing this film. By becoming union, you get residuals. I didn't know I was getting residuals. Like 5 years after the film, I'm keep getting this thing from like the union saying like, oh, we have a trust fee. I'm like, a trust? What are you I'm like, this must be some spam mail.
Right.
I open it up and I call the phone number and they're like, no. They literally had like $20,000 waiting for me.
Wow, that's great.
It was amazing.
Yeah, that's
like,
really great.
Crazy. So it just goes to show you why it pays to be on time.
That's
Because
right.
look how much money, because I'm going to get residuals till the day I die. And even beyond that, my estate will get those residuals.
I think I need to propose to you. Can we hold on real quick?
Hey, I am still waiting to get married. You never know.
But I'm still gay. So
It's okay.
that's all right. It's
okay. You can be my
2019.
beard.
We're good. Yeah, everything flies nowadays, right?
Look, as long as we're happy, right?
That's right.
It just shows you certain keys why it's, good to be on point, why it's good to foster partnerships. I talk about that in the book. Why it's good to be on time, punctuality, my P's. All of those things play a big role in your success. Yeah.
After your time on that set, did you focus more on the modeling? Did you just try and do different castings for modeling?
I was doing both.
And you're doing both?
I was doing both. After that, I ended up getting my actual acting agent. So I was going out for commercials, commercial print, TV, film roles. I ended up working on God Rest His Soul, rest in peace, John Singleton. I ended up working on Baby Boy. Unfortunately, his film was like almost 4 hours long, so my stuff didn't make it in the film. But even
you're still there.
I'm still there.
Yeah.
He was so kind to still keep me in the credits, so I still even get residuals off of Baby Boy. that's how highly he
Yeah.
thought of me. So I'm forever grateful for situations like that. Law and Order, SVU, just
That's the actors.
The
calling
Wire.
card. Yeah.
Yeah, The Wire, which was shot in my hometown of Baltimore. So that was awesome to be able to be a part of a show like that. I was on season 1, episode 5, and I played Avon Barksdale's girlfriend when he cut the phones in my apartment because he was starting to get paranoid. But yeah, I mean, I may not have a whole bunch of big acting roles, but the stuff that I've been able to be a part of has been some really good stuff.
That's awesome. Yeah. When you were coming up in the ranks and also coming up in the ranks as a model, did you feel that your sunny personality or upbeat personality might get a little bit put down upon because it can be a cutthroat industry, or did you feel that was going to boost you above all the negativity?
I've always felt it would boost me above the negativity, and I think it's better to be a light rather than to be darkness. I think it's better to look at the cup half full rather than half empty, because what we believe and what we continue to involve ourselves in, it manifests. And I only want to manifest goodness. I only want to manifest positivity. And not only just being an actor or a model or just in life, period.
As a person.
Yeah, as a person, period. We go through so many things day to day, whether it's stuff on our job, personal relationships, health, all types of stuff that can really bring us down. But especially, I'm going to say, actors and models, we go through so much rejection. You go to this one casting, you think, oh my gosh, that felt good. They're going to love me. I got it. No call back.
Yeah.
Then sometimes it's that casting that you're like, whatever. And then they called you back and you're like, what? What happened?
Yeah, it's amazing how it all works out in the end with what you're destined to do.
Exactly.
And which projects you're destined to be on.
Exactly. But I rather put good energy behind anything that I am doing so that, just good manifest.
Do you think, and we'll talk about your experience on Project Runway as well, because you were the first plus-size model to win. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's super exciting.
Yes.
And super amazing.
Yes.
I wish we didn't have to preface it by saying plus size. You're a beautiful model. And
Thank you.
one day we won't have to label everything.
Well,
and it'll just be a beautiful woman and a beautiful gay person or a beautiful everything. You know what I mean? It'll just be a person. And
Yes.
But-
I feel like until we are all accepted and seen as the same, until then, I don't really have a problem with the word plus.
Yeah.
Plus just means more.
That's right.
I
Extra.
am more. I am extra.
And not in the bad extra.
No, I am all things extra and good, darling.
Yeah, that's right.
So I accept that, and I just look at it as a descriptor. It's not like people say, "Oh my God, I feel so bad. I have to call you a petite model."
Right.
Petite models aren't they're like, and
I
so
think
what?
where
It's
that
because we created a stigma
That's
of
exactly what I was gonna
negativity.
say. Exactly what
Yeah,
I
I
was
choose
gonna say.
not to
If
buy
you're
into
happy
that
with
stigma.
Your body and how you perceive yourself and what you are, then to you it's like, well, wait, what are they talking about? I don't see anything.
Exactly.
It's exactly 1,000%. You took
Exactly.
the words right out of my mouth.
I'm telling you, it's because we have been programmed to make it this deep, dark, secret, ugly thing. And
Right.
I choose not to buy into that. I choose.
And that's very much like that with a lot of words
Oh,
in,
yeah.
in the English language.
Exactly.
That there's so much power behind a word. And people need to put power behind themselves and their actions and not the words.
Yeah, I mean, how many times have people considered black to be dirty, ugly, poor, slave, lower class, less than? No, I look at black and I'm like, powerful, beautiful, king, queen, strong, smart. I choose to give it a different definition.
Yeah.
And I think that's, if we did that with all the different words that are
There'd be
used
no
to
power in
describe
that.
us,
Yeah.
we could really change how we see ourselves and how the world sees us too.
And if people put the amount of energy they put in being negative to being positive,
Yes.
it was just like, it should be such a different climate to grow up in.
Oh,
a different
definitely.
world to live in.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
So what was your experience like on Project Runway?
Oh my gosh. I had the time of my life. Anytime anybody asks me, I literally say the same thing. I had the time of my life. Because plus models don't really get the opportunity to be on the runway and strut their stuff. And this was a chance for me to have, I think I had 16 runways, maybe 12 to 16. You know, I had a bunch of runway shows. Not only that, I get to try clothing that was custom for me, whether it was good or not. I got to meet some of the new and upcoming designers or designers that I didn't even know existed. I got to, because my season 16, because you should go binge watch it.
But finish the interview first.
Yeah, finish the interview first. My season 16 was the first season where they did a segment called Model Mirror. And that's where the models got to talk about what they thought of the garments that they're wearing and how they felt. So to be able to spread some of my curvy confidence and my critique as well about some of the clothing that I was wearing, I think that was really powerful in itself. And that really helped to change the conversation out there and change how people see plus size women.
Right. People want to feel good in their clothes. They want to look good.
And I don't want to be covered up all the time. Like, you know, like the guy was like, wow, she wants a split. I'm like, yeah. And that's how I was like, yeah, give him a little leg, give him a little slay, you know? I want to show off. I want to look beautiful. I want to feel beautiful. I want the same thing that my straight size homegirl is wearing, but in my size.
Right.
Yeah. You know, you may have to, you know, work out a little extra details, but I want it.
If you're a talented enough designer, you'll be able to do that.
Exactly. So when they hem and haw,
cookie cutter. Yeah, it's not a cookie cutter world.
Yeah, when they hem and haw, I'm like, okay, so you're just less than.
Yeah, you can't raise to the occasion, and what is that they say? If you can't stand the heat, get out of the fire.
Exactly, get out of the kitchen.
Or get out of the kitchen, right?
Yeah,
One
get out
of
of
those
the
things.
kitchen. But even with Project Runway, one thing that I do, because I have a company called Life of a Working Model Bootcamp, and I use that to instruct, inspire, and educate the next generation of models, whether they are already in the business or want to get in the business. One of the things I always tell them is to go take an acting class. And they're like, why? Because acting opens you up emotionally. And with modeling, I look at modeling is acting without words. You know, sometimes I need to sell rich bitch. Sometimes I need to sell soccer mom. Sometimes I need to sell, you know, young and sweet. Sometimes I need to sell mature and sophisticated. You know, I'm changing into characters, and I think that when it opens you up emotionally from acting class, using it in the modeling world, it just helps to make you a better model.
Yeah.
It makes you more vulnerable in front of the camera, more comfortable in front of the camera, and you're able to sell a story with your eyes and your body language. And I definitely used that on Project Runway too.
Yeah.
You know, there was, I think it was the Haute Couture Challenge, and Ayana put me in this like little Bo Peep outfit, and it had layers and layers of ruffles, and it set out to here. And I had they made a bow out of my hair, and they had glitter in my hair, and she had dots under my eyes. And so I decided to walk kind of animated to really play up the clothing that I was wearing, because that's how I could sell it, you know? And those are the little tips that I think, you know, like acting does play a big part in modeling. And I think that that's why, you know, you do see men and women who start out as models and then they venture into acting. It's like a natural progression. But yeah, I definitely had to bring in some of my acting experience onto the runway
Right.
at Project Runway.
Well, like you said, you are portraying a character.
Yes, yes.
What do you say to the people who have the misconception that you just have to stand there and smile and take a picture?
The devil is a lie.
That's true.
Yeah, most people don't realize how much work it is to model. Like after Project Runway, my feet have not been the same. Just standing on a plexiglass stage, in shoes that weren't very kind to my feet. Like I just came today, before I came to see you, I went to see the chiropractor. You're standing a lot of times all day in heels. You're taking a toll on your knees and your back. You're on the set, people are fidgeting with you all day. You have a bunch of different personalities. Being able to manage those different personalities
Right.
and not lose your mind.
Right. And stay upbeat at the same time.
Oh yeah, and still sell the garment.
It's like multiple jobs when you're
Oh
trying
yeah,
to model.
yeah. Models, we're
Therapists, you're
therapists, social media, marketing, business management. There are so many things that go into modeling outside of just taking that picture.
Right.
And then being able to, sometimes hit that pose where your hand is in the right place, your eyes are in tune, you're smiling just enough, or your face is strong just enough. It's a lot more than people expect. It's like those people who say, oh, acting's no big deal.
right.
Oh, a track star, they just running.
Right.
Yeah, until you run against that Olympian.
Right.
Yeah, until you have to go memorize 4 pages of lines for tomorrow morning and be off book.
That's right. Yeah.
And bring the emotion.
Everybody thinks their job is the hardest, no matter
yeah.
what industry they're in.
Oh, yeah.
And that everybody else has it easy, or
And it's a lie. It's a
yeah,
lie.
it is.
And I think
And why is it a competition?
exactly.
Like, is it like, oh wow, modeling's easier than acting, so like, wow, the actors win? Like, it doesn't need to be a competition.
At all.
With anything, somebody working at Quick Check versus a model. You know what I mean? It's just, there's too much power in positions and
Yes.
that kind of thing. It's just,
Yes, we all just need to respect each other's craft.
that's right.
Whether it's you're the person who makes salads at my favorite salad place, or you're, the biggest catalog model.
What
I need to respect you, and you need to respect me.
Yeah. What was the impetus for writing the book?
The impetus for writing the book was I did a boot camp called Make the World Your Runway on the Steve Harvey Show. And also just being on Project Runway, I was very interactive during my season on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and a lot of the followers of Project Runway started to follow me, and they would just say, oh my gosh, I love your poise. You have such presence about you. Oh my goodness, I wish I could take your confidence and bottle it up. And I started to think, how can I reach all these people? Because when I did the Steve Harvey Show with the Confidence Bootcamp, Make the World Your Runway, it was great, but afterwards I had all these women who were reaching out to me, and it's like I can't go to every city.
Right, and you can't answer every person.
I can't answer
as
every
much as you want
email
to do
as
it,
much as I
yeah.
want to. I'm only one person.
Right.
And my sister kept telling me, you need to write a book. You need to write a book. And I was like, I don't know. And then after I finished, I had already thought about the idea before the season started, but it got confirmed when I started to get all this love on the show. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. So I kind of dared myself. I was like, oh yeah, I'm writing this book and I'm gonna open it up for pre-orders. And then people actually started to sign up for pre-orders, and I was like,
Awesome.
I guess I need to go write this
I was
book.
just going to say, you pretty much screwed yourself in that brief way. There's
But
no
you know
way
what?
getting out of it.
But that's the good thing about
It almost forced
it forces you to do stuff.
Yeah.
It was the same thing when I started my model boot camp business. I was like, oh, yeah, I'm gonna start a model boot camp business, and my first class will be this day. I'm thinking like, if I can just get 7 people to show up. I ended up having 42.
Yeah, sometimes you just don't.
Sometimes you have to dare
underestimate the
yourself.
power,
Yeah.
of what is actually going on. Did you find writing the book was easier, harder, about what you thought it would be?
Harder than I expected.
Harder than you expected. Yeah.
Harder than I expected.
Because of deadlines,
to get started.
Or because
to get started, and that's because coming off a Project Runway, just my workload shifted.
Yeah.
I'm getting all these calls. Hey, we want to book her for this. Hey, we want her to speak here for that. And my life was just literally changing. And I was struggling to really focus in to write the book. And I remember my mom called me one day and she said, hey, what's going on with your book? And I was like, nothing really right now.
Yeah.
I was like, I think I'm just gonna like refund everybody on PayPal for the pre-orders. I was like, I don't feel up to it. And she was like, no, you're gonna finish that book. I said, oh, okay. Because my mother doesn't usually say stuff like that to me. So for her to say that, I felt like she felt something in her spirit about it, that I needed to do it. And I'm so glad that I did.
Yeah.
I've gotten messages from men and women who have said, you know, this has changed my life. It's given me a voice. It's given me new direction, new mindset. It's pushing me further into my purpose. And, you know, and that's what it's about. A lot of people look at the book and they're like, oh, is this like a modeling manual? And I'm like, no. It's actually, it's Make the World Your Runway, also shameless plug. The foreword is by Tim Gunn of Project Runway. So, you know, a fashion god wrote my foreword. It's top model secrets for everyday confidence and success. And these are just tools that I use to prepare for the runway. I expound upon it for how people can use it on the runway of life every day. Because there are things that models do every day that people can use in their everyday lives.
Right.
From your presence to your poise, to your posture, to your passion, to your partnerships.
Yeah.
There are so many things that we use every day to be successful that people can use in their lives. Whether you're walking down the aisle to, you know, get your graduation diploma, or maybe you already graduated and now you're starting a new level after college and you have to walk confidently into that office to now find your job that you spent those 4 to 6 years getting that degree for. Or, you know, it's just so many things, So, like, I talk about your posture in the book. Yeah, your posture is important because people perceive you a certain way rather than this way and this way. So your posture physically is important, but also what is the posture of your life?
Right.
Who are you aligned with?
Yeah. I feel also that books are important for people and for other people to tell their stories, but to really get down into a lot of details. I feel like in this culture, in this day and age, it's who makes the headline with their whatever stupid thing comes out of their mouth. And no one wants to know motivation behind it. Everybody just wants a buzzword or a buzz clip or a sentence like, oh, well, this person's that because they said this. And it's like, when you can like get into somebody's book and really see what they're about, it's super important. I don't feel people take the time to read as much as they should and really absorb words.
I agree. I mean, you see it all the time on social media. You'll see a headline for something and people are going off in the comments on Facebook. And I'll read the article and then I'll say, I'll comment, did you guys read the article?
Yeah, they only go right off the headline. And I've done the same thing. I'm not obviously labeling myself as a perfect human being. I do the same thing, but you really have to take a step back on Facebook now. And on, I mean, Instagram, maybe not as much, but especially Facebook when you're forwarding articles. And and look at the article. Is it recent? It may not. It could have been 10 years ago. People
Yeah,
don't even look at the date.
they're like, oh, such and such died. And you're like,
yeah.
she died 7 years ago.
Right.
This
I
is
just got
old.
an alert that Gene Wilder died. I'm like, well, that's great. He's been dead for a really long time. It's like, when Cary Grant, when's he gonna go? But it's like, I feel like people need to, instead of investing in the quick social media, which it's very convenient, it's on your phones, whatnot. But I've really discovered books a lot the last couple of years, just being a commuter into the city, and just my eyes have been opened up to so many different things, and so many different lives, and so many things you can learn, and take somebody's story and apply it either to your life or at least get an understanding.
Yeah, I tell
based
people
on other people's points of view and what they've gone through, and make them think like that. I think of a certain way because of experiences I've had as a gay man. You probably have experienced things as an African American woman,
right,
as a plus size woman, that you see things one way. I may not see it the same way as you because I didn't deal with it from your lens.
Right.
But when you read somebody's words and you really can soak in what they're trying to tell you, it's very powerful.
Yeah, it's funny. One of the things I say is that our world needs more compassion. And we can definitely find more compassion in engagement, in conversations, but also in books.
Yeah.
This book is, I mean, blood, sweat, tears. You can feel my heart when you read it. You can literally feel my heart. And, you know, I hope everyone who's watching, you guys can feel my heart too when you get it on Amazon.
That's right. What do you do for your downtime? Like in the summer, do you even have downtime, or are you just straight hustling all year round?
Well, I do have a week of vacation I'm doing with my family. We usually go out of the country, but my father is dealing with dementia, Alzheimer's right now, so my mom doesn't want to be too far away from my dad.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, it is. It is. But so we're doing a vacation in Atlanta this year. I'm already going out there for a job, and I'm just going to stay there for an extra week afterwards, and my family's flying in. And
you're doing that in the summer?
Oh yeah, this summer.
And I thought you were smart. Atlanta's not the place to go in the summer. We just talked about how hot it was here today, and it's not.
Well, you know what it is though. My on both sides of my family, we have a lot of family members there. So, because my nieces haven't been to Atlanta in years, and it's close enough where my mom feels comfortable, and we get to see a lot of family. That's why we chose Atlanta. Yes. Yep. The temperature's gonna be minute.
I'll send you a little clip of this so you can remember when you're sitting there sweating. You're like, damn, why are we?
Oh no, send me ice water instead.
So,
oh gosh.
What do you do when you're all about positivity, you're all about light. What do you do when you're not having a day like that? Do you not close yourself off completely, but you just take a minute, step back, and say, today I need a day for me to just be within myself and not put on the happy face and not that you're putting an act on. I don't mean it to sound that way. Just meaning, since you're always so positive and so bright and sunny, are there days when you don't feel that way, that you have to put on a face to do that, or do you just kind of take a day for yourself and just be within
well,
yourself?
I'll give you a couple examples. I just did a LA press run. Just flew back on Monday. Someone I was supposed to meet up with them for a quick business thing yesterday. It started raining. I've just been exhausted because I've just been traveling quite a bit. And I was like, you know what? No, I am taking this day for me. I'm not leaving. I will ask him if can I meet the next day? And guess what? He was able to meet me today. So that was one of my earlier appointments today. So I talk about in the book how it's important for you to serve from your overflow. So whenever I feel depleted, oh no. Mama has to take time for herself. I have to fill my cup back up, whether it's positive affirmations, whether it's just sleep, whether it's a good meal, whether it's a good kiki on the phone with my homegirls and my homeboys, you know, whatever I have to do to restore myself, because I am no good for anyone if I'm not good to me.
Right.
And I choose me. I choose me.
And that's not even a selfish thing to do.
Not at all, because I can't do anything for
you can't help anybody
you.
else if you can't help yourself.
And I want to help other people. So I have to choose me. Also, if I am down from, let's say I'm disappointed I didn't book a certain job, I don't necessarily throw those emotions away. I used to a lot of times before. I still talk about how you have to almost have a little bit of a forgetful memory, because you can't cling to every audition, every casting in our world. But I allow myself to feel whatever it is I need to feel in that moment. And then I say, okay, let's move forward.
Yeah.
I allow myself to feel that, because that way I can process it. If I got to call one of my homegirls and vent about how disappointed I was that I didn't get this job, or how disappointed I was that this date I went on didn't go too great, you know, vent, let it out, recoup, rebuild, move forward. Things that I do, sometimes I will just go home and just play music. Sometimes I will binge watch a favorite TV show. Sometimes I will go buy my favorite ice cream. Sometimes I will take myself out to dinner. Sometimes I will lay in bed and just scroll like the funny hashtags and just laugh in my apartment by myself.
Because if you don't have
out
self-care,
loud.
you can't care for anyone else.
Exactly.
It's very important.
Yeah, and then there are different spiritual leaders that I follow on like Facebook, Periscope, Instagram. If I need that boost, I'll go to their pages, I'll go to their accounts and just watch stuff, so I could just build me back up. And then next thing you know, I feel like I'm like, oh, okay, I got it, you got this. All right, girl.
Yeah.
So you have to do, you know, the more you grow, the more you start to know yourself. If you really take time out for yourself, and you start to figure out what rebuilds you, what restores you, what grows you, what amplifies you, what magnifies you. You start to figure out all those things by really taking time and loving on yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're such an upbeat, positive person.
Thank
It has
you.
been a real pleasure sitting down with
you.
you, and I wish you nothing but further success.
Thank you.
And all good things for you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. You have a great rest of your quick trip here in New York. I know you're flying out soon, right?
I'm flying out tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you don't have much time. you better wrap this up so you can go party, right? Thank you
Yes.
so much for your time, Liris.
Thank you.